Politico. I know. Remember that news site, Politico? Well, Politico, you know, sometimes I just love it when my audience gives me stories. You'd be like, hey, Kit, you know how you like to step on corporate media and these establishment media outlets? Do I got a tasty snack for you? Because a video came to me via private DM about how former political reporters Mark Caputo and Tara Pamela revealed that their previous employer stopped negative stories about Joe Biden, Hunter Biden, and the infamous laptop. Are you surprised? No one should be surprised because, as we say, and maybe I hope none of you are gonna feel like this is being overplayed. But even though it came out in 2024, it still resonates in 2025 because we all knew the Hunter Biden laptop story was true, and yet corporate media was saying it was a lie. And if you shared it on social media, oh, that was fake news. And we knew that they were lying. The establishment media, big tech. And how do we feel about lies?
All lies will be exposed.
They shall be. They shall be right now for all of you lovely, outstanding people. So let's go ahead, sit back, relax, and hey, it's finally being confirmed. Like you knew it. You knew it, and you had that vote blue no matter who, people saying, oh, how dare you? How dare you think that the Hunter Biden laptop story is fake news and that the media's covering it up? Then what's this? Vote blue, no matter who. A bird goes tweet, and Al goes who.
Another great example when Politico did that terrible, ill-fated headline. 51 intelligence agents or former intelligence agents say that the Hunter Biden laptop was disinformation.
Right.
Or bore the hallmarks of disinformation. Turns out.
Oh, CIA. Hey. CIA. You know, Hollywood makes you guys look so competent, but in real life, whoo. Man, you guys screw up badly.
That story was closer to disinformation because the Hunter Biden laptop appeared to be true.
But then Facebook also pulled all stories down about the Hunter Biden laptop, and I think Twitter did at the same time too.
Correct.
Yeah.
They punished the New York Post. It didn't help. I mean, Politico, my former employer, and I knew at the time, didn't do itself any favors. I was covering Biden at the time, and I remember coming to my editor and saying, hey, we need to write about the Hunter Biden laptop. And I was...
And they told him to shut up. And when you shared that story from the New York Post, I bet you couldn't tweet it out or post it on Facebook. I bet you couldn't do it. We couldn't do it either. Hey, folks, did that happen to you when you wanted to share the Hunter Biden laptop story when it came out? Type 1 for no. I was able to post it. What are you talking about, you silly goose? Type 2, no, I remember. And so does Petridge Farm. That's why we love Hardlands Media. There better be a lot of twos in there. There better be a lot of twos in the chat.
I was told this came from on high at Politico. Don't write about the laptop. Don't talk about the laptop. Don't tweet about the laptop. And the only thing Politico wound up writing was that piece that called it disinformation, which charitably could be called misinformation at the least.
Yeah, I mean, I had a hard time. You know, I wrote some pretty serious reporting on Hunter Biden, which actually ended up getting him prosecuted, the story on the gun.
Yeah, and I remember you consulted with me because you did the original report on the gun. And you came to me like, how do I write about this? I'm like, honestly, I don't know.
So the press can't even write the story. They can't even write the story because they're afraid. My goodness, this is why no one trusts legacy media, CNN. This is why you're going broke, baby. MSNBC, NBC. This is why you're laying off so many people. Politico, New York Times, Washington Post. I mean, this is why you guys are your reporters are afraid to do their job. And yet, hey, don't worry, you got big tech to censor. And of course, corporate media, you played the big role too to censor independent media. I love you, corporate media, but you are not serious people. God, I love that Logan Roy quote.
Yeah, because it was hard to get it done. Figured it out. Yeah. I spent three months on it. I went to the laptop shop and I did all of the reporting in Delaware, and I did all of that. But yeah, it had to be like it had to be 100% nailed down. Mm-hmm. I had everything. You know, the police reports, I'm a solid reporter, but I do wonder if it would have been published a little quicker. If it was a different type of story.
Well, since we're spilling tea about.
Oh, look at him. He's trying to be hip and smart. Since we're spilling the tea, go ahead. Share more. Once again, myself, Daniel, Keaton, Russell, Nick, Jimmy, Greg, Matt, the whole crew at INN, everyone's been proven correct. I mean, am I happy? Today's a Good Friday show. Listen, if you're going to work right now listening to us while we're live on air, have a smile on your face and realize that the establishment media is dying. Now, of course, it will adapt in this new media environment. There will be new people to replace them, new institutions. But remember, we're winning here. We're going to win so much. Your head's going to be spinning for days.
Our former employer, I still have a copy of the story on my external hard drive. In 2019, a rival presidential Democratic campaign of Joe Biden's gave to me the tax lien, the Oppo research, the tax lien on Hunter Biden for the period of time that he worked at Burisma. And I wrote,
gee, a rival campaign. Who was it, sir? Who? A bird goes tweet and an owl goes, who? Who was it? Who was it? Since you're spilling the tea, let's rewind that. In case you missed it, I told you we were going to have a fun show today. This is why you got to tune in every morning at 9 a.m. Central, because you never know what's going to drop before you in the morning. This is why I love doing this show. This is why I love doing this.
Story on my external hard drive. In 2019, a rival presidential Democratic campaign of Joe Biden's gave to me the tax lien, the Oppo research, the tax lien on Hunter Biden for the period of time that he worked at Burisma. And I wrote what would have been a classic story saying, the former vice president's son was slapped with a big tax lien for the period of time that he worked for this controversial Ukrainian oil concern or natural gas concern, which is haunting his father on the campaign trail. That story was killed by the editors, and they gave no explanation for that either.
Interesting.
So that general experience, obviously the public doesn't know about those things, but as a reporter, having witnessed the way in which the two candidates
we just get called like,
I really got to wonder who. So this was 2019, a rival presidential campaign. So who could it be? Well, I mean, hey, it's really up in the air. 2019 was an early time before 2020, and the primaries were really engaged. I don't think it was Kamala because her campaign was going broke. I don't think it could have been Kamala's. No, the campaign was already disorganized. I mean, they were the first ones out. So, all right, Kamala was done. But hey, we have a list of choices. Was it the Bernie campaign against his good friend Joe, Andrew Yang, Tulsi Gabbard, Elizabeth Warren, Bet on My Stork, Pete Buttigieg, everybody duck, dodge, dip, dive, and dodge again for Amy Klobuchar? Who? I'll let you decide. Go ahead. Type in the comment section below. Who do you think it is? Who do you think it could be?
The terrible mainstream media. It's like you don't understand the process there.
We also don't understand the dumb decision of cowardly editors.
The man above us when we're trying to do our jobs. You know what I mean? We're just looking for scoops, man. They're
looking for scoops, man. Come on, man. Come on, Jack.
The big bias is toward a good story.
Yeah, very interesting. And you know what? Here's the thing. I'm glad that they're talking about it because this also is a huge reveal just how the news is presented before us and why, again, CNN and MSNBC, NBC in particular, are right now doing massive layoffs. And why a lot of their talent, I mean, journalists, their on-air personality, are getting pay cuts. I mean, whew. I don't know about you guys, but how's Rachel Maddow going to buy that new boat? I mean, new boats don't buy themselves, folks. I'm pretty sure we would love it if you got to knock at the door. It's not Commissar Hans and his deputy Fritz. No, it's a brand new car and a brand new house and a brand new boat and saying, hey, Hardlands media audience, I'm going to name some people. We got Barnes Homestead, Torwin, Salty Digital Dive. They say that to you. Hey, we bought ourselves for you. That's a great alternate universe, but sadly it doesn't exist. But just so you all are reminded, never forget the big old cover-up that happened. Shout out to Matt Orfala, because this video came out at the height of when they were saying this was a Coca-Cola classic disinformation. And then, oh, it turned out to be true. Matt Orf with the win.
Allegedly found on a laptop belonging to Biden.
Some sort of Russian disinformation campaign effort.
One eternity later.
Biden emails finally authenticated according to the New York Times.
Rewind time.
It's a lie.
Altered or fake, unverified emails.
The story did not quite land due to the lack of verification.
Listen,
verified.
what can't be verified?
The laptop.
Why do you say that?
Well, because it can't be verified.
I don't even want to report this. This is one of the most powerful families in Washington.
Liz, I'm a journalist.
Okay, I would love if you guys would start doing that verification.
No, we're not going to do your work for you.
What? It's your job. You got to follow the orders.
It's a journalist's job.
Not anymore.
For all we know, these emails are made up.
Not really stories, just pure distractions. No serious journalist should fall for it.
It's a journalist's job.
How you doing, Commissar Hans?
To find out if this is verified.
The bottom line is we cannot confirm the story.
Experts say the emails cannot be authenticated.
The mainstream media is not reporting on this story because we can't authenticate this material.
The Hunter Biden laptop material is genuine.
This is a classic example of the right-wing media machine.
It just lacks credibility. The fact that it appeared in the New York Post,
The only place low enough to put this orphan bastard story in print.
Obvious disinformation.
It is so obviously a Russian operation.
So obviously disinformation.
So obviously a Russian plot. Tell me why it's so obviously a Russian plot to you.
This is just classic textbook Soviet Russian tradecraft at work.
Right, exactly. And this is classic, very classic Russian disinformation tactic.
A Coca-Cola classic. Give him an ice cold Coca-Cola with rum in it. Tiberius Monk, if you're watching, you know what I'm referencing here. Come on. It's got to be Succession. God, I love that show. It's a Coca-Cola classic.
Classic disinformation campaign.
We shouldn't look at it as anything other than a Russian disinformation operation.
Known Kremlin disinformation.
Russians would be my number one guess.
obviously Russia.
Russian disinformation
Wolverines for life.
operation.
Russian disinformation.
Pushing Russian disinformation.
It does bear the hallmarks of Russian disinformation.
Hunter Biden's story is Russian disinfo.
Hunter Biden's laptop looks like it's tied to Vladimir Putin in Moscow.
It's Putin. Woogie, boogie, 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 boogie.
Is that laptop yours?
I don't know. I truly...
You don't know.
The serious answer is that I truly do not know the answer to that.
Did you leave a laptop with a repairman
Not
in
that I
Wilmington?
remember.
Not that you remember.
No. I truly don't know.
Are you missing a laptop?
Not that I know of.
What?
Shout out to Matt Orfala. If you're not following him on social media, please do so. Please, with a cherry on top, do so. Because we need to know. People have a right to know. People demand to know. Okay? People demand to know. People have a right to know. You know? We need to know these things. So there you go. So that's how they were hiding everything. That's how they were hiding everything. That's how they were protecting everything. And of course, corporate media was forming that shield wall. And now we know. Now we know what they were doing. And see, the thing is, we knew then 4 years ago. So folks, that's democracy. That's democracy, all right. But as a final note to this segment, think about how many because again, you got to look at these people as people, these reporters, right, who work for the New York Times or Washington Post, Politico, or even at CNN and MSNBC. Let's say you got your hard, willing workers, and they can't do their job. And why can't they do their job? It's because the corporations who own our politicians dictate commands. And so, in other words, they have to be very careful what they can and cannot cover, what they can say and they won't say. So that's why the American people are in the dark. They want to make sure that you're informed, but They don't want to give away too much of that secret sauce. But we know. And that's the beauty of the internet. But I am worried for these uncertain times about the jackboot of censorship. But until then, folks, know this. All of you have been proven correct. Everything that you posted from social media about how corporate media lies or covers up stories, you have been proven correct. And I don't care how you voted. I don't. I don't care what generation you're part of. I don't. I don't care who you worship. Nope. Hey, do you. Whatever makes you happy. But if you were one of the dauntless few, and shout out to my dauntless few, my brave few, who stood up against that tidal wave of the vote blue no matter who and corporate media BS, if you're one of the dauntless few that said, hey, we're being lied to, stories are being covered up, we're being censored, congratulations. Enjoy today. Friday is a beautiful day for you, as should every other day. Stand against the censorship and support independent media.